What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a subscriber story that was sent in to me about this rich kid on their bus that ended up breaking his phone to try to flex on everybody, but it ended up backfiring. Regardless, I figured it'd be the perfect story for this channel, so that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam whatsoever. Someone's going to break your phone next time you're on a bus. And trust me, you don't want that to happen. And without further ado, let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said before in Storytime, school buses are a pretty weird world, dude. It's like the only time when you're really young that you're unsupervised, and so it's this own little world of like kids trying to, act tough at the bus stop and bully each other. You've got people just doing things on the bus they would never do anywhere else. Climbing under the seats, sliding up and down the aisles, dude, like trying their best to slam into the sides of the bus to make it flip. Just, it's absolute chaos on a bus. And one of the worst things that can happen on a school bus is somebody that just kills the vibe, dude. It's already bad enough that we've got to be going to and from school, alright? But the last thing you need to do is make it suck for everybody else. But I guess this subscriber had a kid on their bus in elementary school that loved to just flex on everybody, make themselves feel more important, just be like, hello, I am rich, and because of that, I am better than you. And on this particular day, this rich kid was on the bus bragging very loudly about how, it doesn't really matter what he wants, his parents will get it for him because his parents are rich and blah blah. And he's bragging about how, most people at their school aren't able to get a new phone every year, but his parents buy him a phone every year because they're just that rich and yada, just kind of going on about how much better he is than everybody. And obviously some kids on the bus ended up telling him to like shut up because nobody cares, right? Which is a pretty fair thing to say. If you're just kind of loudly for no reason saying out loud like, my dad is rich, he buys me things, someone's gonna tell you to shut up because chances are people don't care. But when this kid gets told to shut up, instead of, shutting up or realizing that he looks out of touch, he decides to start bragging even more. And he goes, oh, why? Are you jealous that my dad's rich and your parents are poor? It's not my fault that my parents work harder than your parents, okay? It just is what it is, and everybody is kind of annoyed with him. And then he reaches into his phone and he pulls out the new iPhone. And I don't necessarily know when this took place, but whatever, you get the idea. There's always that like 1 month period right after the new iPhone comes out where everybody who gets it like feels a little fancy. And so he pulls it out and he's like, look at this. Most of you guys don't even have a phone, but my parents bought me an iPhone because they love me and they're rich and blah blah. And like my parents are better than your parents, yada. Still just kind of rubbing it in that he's rich and better than And then somebody on the bus, one of the people that's arguing back and forth with this kid who's just trying to make everybody feel bad, says something that's a pretty genius move to play, I can't even lie. He says, okay, so you say your parents will buy you anything, right? Like, it doesn't matter what you ask for, they'll buy it for you. And he's like, yeah, because my parents are rich. And he goes, all right, so they just bought you that iPhone? And the kid, once again, pulls his iPhone out and starts bragging and is like, yeah, it's the new one, da-da-da-da-da. It cost like $800. And that's when the kid goes, all right, well, if you're really telling the truth about how rich you are and how your parents will buy you anything, then break the phone. Like, just break it. And if you break it and your parents are super rich, they'll just buy you a new one, right? Like, that'll make us all shut up. Because right now, it just seems like you're bragging and trying to make us feel bad. But, if you really got it like that, then break your phone. If you really don't care and they'll get you anything. And as soon as he says that, the kid's face like changes into something that's not very hyped, bro. Kind of like, uh-oh, I might have made a mistake here by getting myself into this situation. And everybody else that's on the bus and is kind of arguing with him now because he turned this into a group project. Homie really could have had the 1v1, had to get the bus involved, dude. It's kind of like, yeah, no, break it. If you're really so rich and your parents will buy you anything, then it just shouldn't be a big deal to get you another iPhone, right? Right? And everybody kind of starts to do that thing from Nemo, and they're like, mine, but it's just that kind of telling him, like, no, break your phone, seriously, like, come on, if your parents are so rich and they won't care and they'll buy you anything, do it. And the entire bus is kind of getting involved. And the rich kid is kind of like, obviously not saying a whole bunch. He's turning red probably from the embarrassment, but he doesn't want to look like he's not rich. He's been telling everybody how much they suck because they don't have iPhones. And so instead of just deciding to say something along the lines of, I'm not going to break it, that's ridiculous, whatever, like you guys can believe what you want, I have an iPhone, yada, 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 this kid wanting to look as cool as humanly possible, make everybody feel bad about the fact that they didn't have a phone cooler than him, goes, fine, I will destroy it, and my parents will buy me a new one, I don't even care. And so he turns into the aisle and puts his phone on the ground, takes the curb of his foot or the heel of his foot and just starts to curb stomp his phone over and over again. And he does it with the glass side up, and 3 kicks in, there's finally just a big crack across the screen. And as soon as there's a crack across the screen, dude, you would have thought that everybody on the bus just witnessed a horrible accident. They're like, oh my god, he broke it. No, he broke his phone. Dude, the screen's broken. The screen's broken. You had other people with their phones, the other people that did have phones, filming this kid breaking his phone. Because for some reason, when you're young, breaking electronics entertains you. I don't know if this was just me, but I used to look up smashing Xbox 360 just because I thought it was entertaining. So obviously everybody's just staring at this rich kid who's just stomping his phone, and as he's stomping it, his face starts to contort into regret, mid-stomping it. Once it breaks, it's ah, crap. You can see that he starts to kind of have to hold back the tears. He's not too happy with what he did. Probably because the reality's kicking in that, his parents probably are not gonna buy him a new phone, dude. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't care how rich I am. If I'm literally a billionaire, if I got my kid a brand new phone and he went to school the next day and broke it to try to impress people and say how rich he was, yo, that sucks, dude, but I'm not getting you a new phone. So anyways, he stomps on it for a bit, picks it up, and he's telling everybody he doesn't care. The look on his face obviously means he cares, dude. Homie looks like he's about to cry the entire time, but he swears, I don't even care. He puts his broken phone in his pocket and says, watch, tomorrow I'm gonna have a new one. I'm gonna have a new one tomorrow. You guys don't even worry about it. My parents are rich. They'll buy me whatever I want. And honestly, most people on the bus are making fun of him for being an idiot destroying his phone, but they're also wait, maybe he's telling the truth, dude. Maybe this dude's really about to get a new iPhone because he just did it with so much confidence. You would think if you were not 100% sure in that scenario, you're not going to destroy your phone, right? Maybe that's just me, but if I'm not 1000% positive that I have a phone in the mail tomorrow, I'm not curb stomping and destroying my phone. And if you want me to be honest, even if I had one in the mail, why would I curb stomp and destroy a perfectly good phone? It just doesn't make sense. But the fact that this guy just did it so willy-nilly has some kids thinking that he's telling the truth, right? So whatever, they go about the day, and pretty quickly at school, everybody starts to hear about this. Everybody's starting to talk about the guy that broke his new phone on the bus, the guy that shattered his phone on the bus, yada, yada, yada. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you take a look at your screen, you'll see an Xbox gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every single video I post here on the channel as a way to say thank you to y'all for subscribing and turning on those notifications. So if you haven't done that, you should, and press the like button and comment down below. Go ahead and comment the word Apple down there if you haven't yet. Just helps me hit recommended, and on that note, I'll shut up. Thanks. Anyways, at school, he's even telling the story, but he's embellishing it. Obviously he stomped on his iPhone. It is what it is. It's cool, I guess, but he's telling everybody that they told me that I didn't have the money, so I whipped out my phone, did a 720 no scope, was spinning it like a Beyblade, and then kicked it out the window. He's just making it sound way cooler than it is, and a lot of people are making fun of him, and he's showing everyone the phone, and it just kind of becomes a big deal at school. There wasn't a lot going on, so smashing an iPhone was the biggest deal at the time. And so, obviously, everybody is starting to, take bets, not literally, but bets about, oh, do you think he's going to get a new one? Do you think they're going to buy him a new phone? Do you think they're going to buy him a new phone? And a lot of the school is yeah, I think so. If he smashed it, probably. But it's pretty divided. You got 2 camps. One that thinks it's going to be hilarious tomorrow when he comes to school with no iPhone, and the camp that's no, he's going to get it. So the next day, obviously at night, no one really knows what's going on. They don't all live together. But the next day, obviously at the bus stop, people are hyped. They are very, very excited. And they're waiting, and the kid who broke his iPhone just never comes. They go to school. Sure enough, he's not there that day either. And they're like, okay, well, he's not here. Does that mean he got in a bunch of trouble? Does that mean that, his parents took him on vacation? What does this mean? And so everybody's kind of theorizing that entire day when he's not there about what it is, dude. People are saying, maybe he got kidnapped by aliens. Maybe Steve Jobs himself flew down from heaven and gave him an iPhone. Just people are theorizing literally everything. But sure enough, the next day comes, everybody's standing there hyped at the bus stop, and up walks the kid who smashed his iPhone. And people are trying to talk to him, and he's like acting like he can't hear them. Yo, dude, did you get a new phone? Did you get a new phone? Did you get a new phone? And he's just kind of looking straight down, not replying to anyone. He's not trying to engage with anyone. He's just trying to avoid it. And everybody's kind of like, yo, did you get a new phone? Did you get a new phone? And he's like, we'll talk on the bus. We'll talk on the bus. We'll talk on the bus, right? So they get on the bus and everybody crowds around his seat a little bit, obviously. And they're like, okay, well, what happened? And he goes, okay, so I go home and I tell my mom that I broke my phone, and she asks how. So I tell her that a bunch of kids on the bus were saying that, you guys wouldn't buy me a new iPhone if I broke it, so I decided to break it. And my mom said, well, you're dumb because we're not going to buy you a new phone. And then I started crying and freaking out because they should have bought me a new phone because I deserve it. And everybody on the bus kind of is like, yeah, they don't agree at all. Obviously, if you smash your phone, you don't just deserve another one. And so me and my mom started arguing about it, and she called my dad and told him, and my dad was pissed, and he came home, and we got in a big argument. And yesterday I faked sick because I was so embarrassed about what happened about not getting a new phone. And half the people on the bus start cheering. They're like, he didn't get a phone, he didn't get a phone. And he starts to get beet red, embarrassed, tears start to well up again, and he's like, yeah, but please don't tell anyone at school, let's just not make this a big deal. And they're like, okay, well, will you show us your phone? And this dude pulls out a pink Razer flip phone from way back in the day that belonged to his mom. And so obviously everybody starts roasting him immediately. It's bedazzled, dude. Just in terms of when you told everyone your parents were rich and going to buy you a new iPhone, and then you show up with a bedazzled Razer, you're going to get made fun of. You can't expect anything else. And so, obviously, everybody's making this a big deal. He thought everyone was going to let it slide, but they get to school, and everyone's running around. Oh, my God, he's got a pink Razer. His phone sucks. Oh, my God, they didn't get him an iPhone. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody's making fun of him, dude, and obviously, he's known as the guy that smashed his iPhone. And it got so popular at the school that even the teachers, stopped and were like, hey, did you get a new phone? Meanwhile, this dude's just crying while, calling people with his bedazzled pink Razer. And I'm not even saying it's completely lame, Razers are cool. But it's definitely not my parents are rich and will buy me a new iPhone whenever I want situation, dude. I don't even know why you would smash your iPhone if you knew they weren't going to get you one. Obviously, your parents were not going to get you a new iPhone if you smashed it. You knew that on the bus, but you still went through with it and curb stomped it anyways. No one made you do that, dude. It's not like they had a PlayStation controller that controlled your right leg and, made you continuously curb stomp the iPhone until it stopped working. I can't even imagine what the parents must have said in that moment. Obviously, there was more than just his little explanation, but imagine you're a parent, you have a job, you're working 40 hours a week, maybe even some overtime, dude. You save up money, you buy your kid an iPhone, you're like, wow, hopefully they appreciate this and treasure it. Next day, they come home, they're like, yeah, some kids said that we were poor, so I'm gonna need you to buy me another $1,000 phone because I destroyed this one to teach them a lesson. Thanks, Pops. Work some overtime if you have to. I don't really care. I just need a new phone. I literally could not imagine the blood boiling at that point, dude. Just being like, you did what? You did what? You did what? But I will also say, probably a really bad idea to, give an elementary schooler a new iPhone. I can't say the parents were the sharpest tools in the shed. It looks like everyone in that family has the same, thought process in terms of not at all. There's just none. Moral of the story, though, don't break your new iPhone to try to convince people that you're rich, because chances are it's going to backfire and you're just going to end up being made fun of, and your parents are not going to buy you a new phone. That's my honest advice here. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And, of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. If you really want to help me out, you can check out the intro song. A link to it can be found down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. And other than that, if you use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout, you get a discount on the best energy drink for gamers, and it helps me out too. And last but certainly not least, as y'all know, it's October, which means Halloween is quickly approaching, and you can get yourself some of the Halloween merch from the top link in the description. As you can see on screen, it's pretty fantastic. And, yeah, on that note, guys, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see each and every one of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.